Hmm. Hello, Mary. I'm going to have a little reading today on one of my favorite topics, or one of my pet peeves. I'm not sure what to call it. But I've looking at videos on YouTube and reading articles and whatnot about yoga and Sanatana Dharma. It seems that people are hell-bent on ignoring Sanskrit terms. I'm talking about people from India, ignoring Sanskrit terms and introducing or moving these Western terms in there. And it's not working. It really isn't working, but they keep plugging away at it. And one video in particular I came across, and the person was really going to great lengths to translate words like soul or spirit or God or some righteousness and something, things like that, instead of using, and placing that in the teachings. And like I said, I've noticed this a number of times in a number of talks. And they just keep going over it, over and over and over again. God means this, God means that. Shiva's God, Vishnu's God. Saraswati is God, Brahman is God, and all this. And they never quite get it. They can never quite nail it down. And that's because they're not supposed to. I mean, these are Western terms. They come from the West. And we are a materialistic people. And so all of our terms are born out of that materialism. Also, the religion is domineering religion. It is a dictatorial religion that tells you what to think, tells you what to believe. Sanatana Dharma is not that way. So from the basic energy of the Western terms, it's always going to clash. It's always going to clash because those words, the energy of the Western terms, are going in a different direction from the energy of the Sanskrit terms. So I thought about it for a little while, and I wrote this little short piece. It's been sitting around for several weeks, so I decided, okay, I'll go ahead and read it for you. And like I said, they've been going around and around, a lot of people, trying to fit the Western terms into the ancient Vedic texts, the Vedas, the Upanishads, and so on and so forth. So this is what I wrote. I'm going to read it off the computer screen here. Okay. These problems can be easily solved by using only the Sanskrit terms. The Western terms supposedly began with Yeshua, Jesus. Also, he did not use words like, no, okay. However, he also did not use words like God, soul, spirit, and so on. He never used them. In so many ways, those words, including God, are steeped in ignorance and fantasy. The same goes into our understanding of the teachings of Yeshua. Based on the use of words like God, most of what people think he taught, he never said it. He never did. Oftentimes he spoke of matters completely different. And the problem is, again, putting the word God in there instead of the words he actually used. And it's caused a lot of problems for a lot of years. In the Latin with domino, and now these days with the word God. Now, for the same reasons, ignorance and fantasy are fouling Sanatana Dharma in the minds of people. Seemingly endless streams of rationales are employed in an attempt to smooth over the problems. But in the long run, rational thought supports the fantasy, for that is what rational thought happens to be, a sensible fantasy. And it is. Rational thought is a sensible fantasy. Go back to the Sanskrit words and the teachings of the ancient rishis, for there is the truth, including the truth of Yeshua and the ancient masters of India. It is really very simple to do this. Just start using the Sanskrit terms. If people don't understand, educate them. These are words that need to be spoken, and they need to be spoken often because of the composition of those words, not only as to associative meanings and concepts and so forth, but the vibrations of those words, the resonance of those words went into their composition. So why not use them? They're supposed to be used. It is really very simple, but it does take a willingness to turn one's back on nearly everything in the past. And yes, this can be frightening and painful. Very painful. The question is then, how many people are willing to wrench themselves away from God and face up to yoga? Can you do that? Can you do that? Tear yourself away from God. Run away. Turn to face yoga. Oh, that's enough.